It's no secret that Charlotte Harbor and the natural environment are draws for residents and visitors. It's an essential part of the community's lifeblood, social and recreational activities, and the backbone of the economy and future development. You might not realize just how much our area has changed over recent decades. Increasing population, development, and the stresses on our infrastructure have also impacted our environment. So now Charlotte County is taking the lead role in planning for its wastewater infrastructure and improvements to better ensure that Charlotte Harbor's water quality will be protected for future generations.
We're at a point now where we can identify our own goal and set our own trajectory. And I know that all the departments within the county are also gearing up to meet those challenges and take the next steps forward. Additionally, the Board of County Commissioners is also really supportive of these tough initiatives. Tackling the problems of tomorrow's infrastructure today and no longer putting off those investments or making those hard decisions. So we have a board that's very engaged and willing to do the hard work that's before us.
Clean water underpins everything in Charlotte County, whether it's tourism or economic development, whether it's retail. It underpins everything in our economy, so it's incumbent upon all of us to do everything that we can to make sure that our water quality is as good as it can be.
There are various sources of pollutants that enter Charlotte Harbor. From stormwater that transfers debris from surface streets and yards to underground on-site septic systems and other sources, all are contributing to increased pollutants, nutrients, and bacteria in our waterways. The county's strategic focus areas include water resources, infrastructure, and quality of life, so various departments are doing their part to contribute. The Utilities Department is tackling wastewater infrastructure improvements. But why is it so important to water quality and the health of Charlotte Harbor?
It helps to provide us the healthy fisheries, the fabulous recreational opportunities that many of our residents and visitors enjoy, and so that's why it's important to make investments to keep the harbor clean and beautiful.
The challenge Charlotte County faces is a plethora of aging septic systems that are contributing pollutants to our waters.
The Charlotte County service area has about 27,000 septic tanks.
The previous generations have brought us so far, and it's now all time to carry the torch forward and do the same and make those decisions that preserve what we have for our children and our grandchildren.
So how is Charlotte County tackling this issue? County leaders realized they needed to better understand the impact of septic tanks scientifically. They needed data to share with the public about the impacts of failing septic systems on Charlotte Harbor.
But the point is we have a lot of contaminants potentially getting into the groundwater and the surface water.
In 2015, Dr. Brian LaPointe of Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute at Florida Atlantic University was contracted to perform a Charlotte County water quality assessment.
The conditions here aren't really conducive for functioning septic tanks.
The Phase 1 data analysis and recommendations for long-term monitoring was finalized in December 2016 and presented before the Board of County Commissioners.
What we found in our study is that over large areas of Port Charlotte, 71% of the area we looked at does not have adequate soil depth between the drain field and the seasonally high water table.
Dr. LaPointe found high levels of bacteria, phosphorus, and nitrogen in both the ground and surface waters of Charlotte County. He even tested for the man-made artificial sweetener called sucralose.
And sure enough, all the tests were positive for sucralose in the groundwater and the surface water, which really confirms that these are coming from septic tanks.
Other experts, like Dr. Mary Lusk from the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences, Extension's Water Resources Division, agree that septic tanks have their limitations.
They were not designed, at least the conventional septic tank systems, to remove other pollutants such as nitrogen and phosphorus. And those pollutants are the ones that can really cause degradation of our water bodies.
Our program has been in existence for decades.
Jennifer Hecker is the director of the Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program, a regional partnership working to protect the second largest estuary in the state and the Peace and Myakka watersheds that contribute to it.
Which again are so important for our economy and our quality of life here.
Hecker says there are many sources of pollution that affect our water quality.
And septic tanks is one of those pollution sources that we're trying to address.
At the direction of the Board of County Commissioners, the Utilities Department embarked on a sewer master planning effort with the engineering consulting firm Jones Edmonds. The Charlotte County Sewer Master Plan is a 15-year roadmap to build sewer systems that support the health of our harbor in an affordable, sustainable, efficient, and reliable manner.
I think without clean water and sanitation services, we would not be able to have the quality of life that we all come to expect today.
The Utilities Department has engaged other county departments and stakeholders from the business and environmental community to provide input and be a part of the planning process. As the county moves ahead planning neighborhood sewer conversion projects, it evaluates various equipment options and puts the most reliable technology into place. This vacuum station was designed for the East and West Spring Lakes area and will eventually serve about 2,000 homes. A smaller vacuum station will serve the eastern portion of the neighborhood. When construction is completed, it will be painted and landscaped so it's aesthetically pleasing to the neighborhood.
The county really needs to aggressively move ahead with their septic to sewer program to improve the treatment of wastewater, divert it from these groundwaters that are close to the canals, get it to the sewage treatment plants where you can remove the nitrogen. And your treatment plants now are removing 90% of the nitrogen.
The experts agree. Doing nothing about the large number of septic tanks located within the county is not an option due to the amount of pollutants they release into the environment.
We get excess nitrogen in our water bodies. That can be a trigger for our algal blooms, and which then leads to fish kills and really nasty conditions at the beach.
That's why it's so important and why Charlotte County has been proactive in addressing them and making sure that we keep those pollutants out of our waterways.
Florida's growing. 1,000 people a day are moving to Florida. So you've had strong, steady growth in the Port Charlotte area, and that's going to continue. So the point is you want to get ahead of this problem. You don't want it to worsen like the Indian River Lagoon, where they've ignored this problem for 25 years. And the chickens are now coming home to roost. You can't touch the water because of the fecal contamination.
While many agree about the benefits of sewers for our water quality, the cost of sewer infrastructure is high.
We understand that there has to be affordability in any program that we push forward.
The county utilizes the low-interest loan from Florida's Clean Water State Revolving Fund to finance these projects and will continue to do so in the future.
The cost to actually go in and put a sewer system in an existing area really is dependent on a number of factors. The type of sewer system to be installed, the density of the lots, how close the lots are together, and also the improvements, the existing improvements in the area, such as is the area already paved, or is it like a green area where you're free to go in and cut in new lines and put in new laterals to people's houses.
So it's going to take some creativity, and we've engaged the best minds in the state to help us identify grant opportunities, to identify creative financing solutions, payment plans, and ways to bring down the overall cost to the individual resident.
The county is also considering using money from the 1% local option sales tax to help fund these water quality improvements.
It's really important that we look at everything that mitigates damage to our waterways and our ecosystem, the health of our fishery, the health of our beaches.
The benefits extend beyond water quality to improved property values and economic sustainability for all of our residents, visitors, and future generations.
Generally, houses that are connected to a centralized sewer system are much more attractive to potential home buyers, simply because the buyer will not have to maintain those septic tanks in the future.
There's people in this neighborhood that still aren't happy about the sewer, but I'd say most of them are.
Jim Boys owns 2 homes in the Spring Lakes neighborhood and was glad to be able to hook up to the new sewer system.
But for future generations, that's who we have to protect.
Getting people onto centralized sewer is a huge benefit to water quality and a very worthwhile investment.
The sewer master plan includes options for customers to pay up front or to finance over a longer period of time. The county will also incorporate a financial hardship program and will defer connection fees for applicants that meet specific criteria. Since septic to sewer conversions will take years to complete, depending on where your property is in the county, there are things you can do to keep your septic system functioning properly in the meantime.
First of all, to remember to inspect and pump that system regularly. The toilet is not a trash can, so human waste and toilet paper, that's it. By remembering that, you can prevent a lot of the problems that you'll get with your septic tank.
Even if you are on a central sewer system already, the same rules apply. Do your part to keep your home's plumbing system maintained, and that will in turn keep the county's sewer infrastructure going strong. If you're not currently hooked up to sewers, you may be wondering, when will sewers be in my neighborhood?
Jones Opens has been working with Charlotte County to develop an interactive map. That way customers can actually see when sewer will be provided in their areas.
We're coming up on the centennial of the establishment of Charlotte County, and in thinking about the past 100 years, we're also planning for the next 100 years.
In order to keep these projects moving forward, the county needs continued involvement from stakeholders and understanding from our residents and visitors. The short-term inconveniences of neighborhood construction will yield long-term improvements in water quality and a sustainable future for generations to come.
But it takes more than the county commission. It's going to take a partnership. You've got to get all the partners and the stakeholders together, working together to create a long-term plan for moving ahead and leading, this system into a recovery mode. And the end result is going to be very, very good for Charlotte County.
For more information, visit charlottecountyfl.gov. Click Utilities Sewer Master Plan. There you can view maps and presentations, learn about upcoming meetings, and provide your feedback online with a short survey. Reporting for CCTV, I'm Todd Dunn.